Welcome to Gorez, and if you like Daft Punk and Ghost B.C, boy do I have the right band for you. Now for those of you who don't know me, listening to music is not much of a choice for me. There is this craving inside my brain, a thirst that needs a very specific type of a stimulation. Imagine me as a mere DJ that has to satisfy a very whiny and picky customer that is battling with ADHD and depression. It's an absolute shit show. On the other hand, though, because I've been listening to a lot of music all my adult life, like 10 hours a day maybe, I know a lot of songs and I usually know what I need, and that craving and I are usually at peace. But sometimes life shows its ugly side to me. Like I wake up one day and there's a new craving in my brain and I don't have an answer for it. I don't know what kind of music, what song should I feed it. So sometimes my brain basically tortures me and craves that specific song, and it wants answers to a question that I cannot even begin to comprehend. And even if I do comprehend, there are not a lot of efficient ways to find a specific type of song. Again, if you know me, I'm a huge metal fan, so even when I'm listening to other genres, I'm looking for similar elements in them. And I was going through one of my Daft Punk episodes, which means that I was listening to all of their songs on repeat for a few days. And then my brain was, it's too light, it's too happy. What if it was metal? And it's not particularly the type of question that you would Google and get answers to. So I was left with this craving and I couldn't do anything about it. So I just had to live with it. For a few days though, because then Spotify came to the rescue, and I like to think of it as a miracle, but the more probable answer is that algorithms know us much better than ourselves, which is a little scary. But anyways, I was finally able to scratch that itch that had been bothering me for a few days. And it was Priest, and it was everything that I ever wanted out of a band. And later on, I found out that what I was looking for was actually subgenres of synthwave. It's really hard for me to pronounce it. Synthwave, is it? Synthwave? Yeah. Anyways, I was looking for subgenres of that particular genre, and like they are called dark wave, dungeon wave, and a lot of other things. Go check out the Wikipedia page. Man, my pronunciations. And you're gonna find a lot of interesting genres, and there are like some genres that have like they are Soviet influenced synth wave kind of stuff, a complete new world. But I really love Priest because I think there's a difference, you know, they have like an edge. And these are the things that I found out later on, and it was after I had fallen in love with them. So I found out that the reason that I fell in love with Priest and I like them this much is that they are former members of the band Ghost. And I really love Ghost. I love everything about them. I love their musical style. I love their aesthetics, everything. And so when I found out that they are the same people, I was like, yeah, that explains it. Because even though Priest has its own unique musical style, their own unique aesthetics and everything, you can still clearly see the influence that Ghost has had on them. And that's why I really love their first album, New Flesh, because you can clearly see Ghost in it. And in different aspects, because it's a lot more metal. Like you can see darker atmospheres, a sense of violence and paranoia and everything. And the fact that probably most of the songs are about the time that the members were abused in Ghost really helps to convey that emotion, because from what I know is that they were not happy, they were abused there, so that's why they came out of the band and started Priest and everything. So that's why I think their first album is pretty unique. You know, there are very real and strong emotions behind it, and since it has those metal influence in it, it really stands out, you know? Take History in Black, for example. It's one of my favorite songs in the album. And music-wise, it's pretty interesting. But when you look at the lyrics, firstly, you kind of understand them. The reasons, the feelings actually they had in Ghost, and probably why they left Ghost. And it's also pretty relatable because we all have been stuck in toxic relationships at some point in our lives. So it's just awesome. And the other song that I really like from the album is called Populist, and it has pretty much the same atmosphere, but overall it has this style that I really like to see in Ghost. It's like the perfect setting and everything. And the lyrics, the music, everything goes hand in hand to create a very immersive and like palpable scenery. The other songs that I really like is Private Eye and Virus, and I really like them. They have pretty much the same atmosphere, but they are unique in their own sense. Music wise, they are a bit lighter, they are more synthwave-ish. But lyrics wise, they are very similar to the song by Judas Priest's Cyberface, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. So I really like it because it really makes that creates that cyberpunkish atmosphere that I really like to see everywhere. Even this abomination of a masterpiece that Charlie has created, I love them all. And here's where the old curse catches up to me, because I really find a lot of bands and I fall in love with them, especially bands like this that have like 1 or 2 albums. And then when they release a new album, I just get disappointed. And this is what happened with Priest. And you know how they say, if you keep running to the same problem, you're the problem. I might be the problem. But like, if you look at Lamb of God, I love them very much. And I was listening to all of their albums for a few years when the 2015 Sturm und Drang album, if I'm pronouncing it right, was released. And I loved it, even though it was after I discovered them. But then the next album they released without Chris Adler, that was the album that actually disappointed me. And it's like, it sounds like Lamb of God, but it doesn't stand out anymore, you know? It's just Lamb of God, you know? It's not Sturm und Drang that like has 512 in it, or has Embers in it, and has fucking Chino in it, you know? And the same thing goes with Priest, but since they all have the pretty much the same style, everything that they have released after that first album, I think that's where they wanted to go in the first place. They have actually found what they wanted to create in the first place, and that first album, New Flesh, was mere practice for them. But still, I really love the first album. The next one's not so much, because that first one, New Flesh, was, you know, it had the edges that I wanted to see in an album. But the next ones, they just sound dark wave-ish, like other bands in the genre. Although I'm pretty new to the genre, so these are not facts, these are mere personal feelings towards the whole thing. But there are very interesting subgenres and bands under synthwave, and I have found Mortis, if I'm pronouncing it right, I don't know, which is pretty much Daft Punk meeting every stage of Varg from Barzum. And it's really interesting because they covered the whole thing. And Mortis, if you ever see this, I'm sorry or you're welcome for that statement and that comparison. That's pretty much all I had to say about Priest. If you know a band or are a band that I should be talking about, please let me know in the comments. And if you like Daft Punk, Ghost, or Priest, if you listen to them, I have this pretty short playlist on Spotify called Futuristic Nostalgia. And it's pretty interesting. Check it out, you'll like it. And if you like this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.